everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse collect-to-build Cyborg Flashpoint Aquaman. This is a Target exclusive gold label figure. I pre-ordered this guy at the Target website, and he arrived today. Funny thing is, I actually saw this guy at a Target store the same day that he arrived at my house. This is the collect-to-build Cyborg wave. This is one of the Target exclusive collective build waves. They drop a figure, I don't know, about every 2 months. So it's probably going to be another 6 months, best case scenario, before we can actually build Cyborg. This is Aquaman for the Flashpoint story. He's pretty much a villain in that story, hence the crazy evil looking face. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus. This is a McFarlane gold label collection figure. Gold label simply means it's a store exclusive. DC Multiverse Aquaman, collect-to-build Cyborg. This is the first of 4 figures you'll need. I'm actually looking forward to that Cyborg figure. He should be our regular Rebirth comic Cyborg. One side, Aquaman from Flashpoint. Other side, Aquaman. Target put their own little sticker here. Pretty annoying if you're an unopened collector. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode in case that helps anybody. And on the back side, here's Cyborg. Here's the piece you get with this Aquaman. Here's instructions how to build Cyborg. And here is the rest of the wave. Of course, we don't actually know who any of their figures are yet. Aquaman and 3 other blank figures. Looking forward to seeing who they are. Obviously, the last one has a cape. Second and third do not. Time will tell. So no further ado, let's open them up. And what are the odds? I got the 2 newest Target exclusive DC Multiverse figures in the same day. Separate packages, separate orders, same day. And to add to the irony, I saw both these guys at the local Target store today. Alright, now that we have this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. He comes with a display stand, a collector's card, Aquaman's signature Trident, and then the torso piece for the collect-to-build Cyborg. Looking forward to completing him in 8 months or so. Before taking a look at the accessories, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Aquaman, Arthur Curry, and he's from the Flashpoint comic. He's from an alternate multiverse Earth, flashing back in time and altered events, thus making a rippling effect, changing the future. The Atlanteans are fighting the Amazons, and the humans are caught in the crossfire. This Aquaman is essentially a villain. He's brutal. At one point, I believe he was married to Wonder Woman, and it all fell apart, and now their 2 races are warring each other. So let's take a look. Now, starting off with his face, it looks pretty weird. Not a fan. The mouth, giant. He almost looks like a zombie. He does have a scar kind of going under his right eye. It just looks really weird. I get he's supposed to be screaming. He's angry. He's probably in the middle of killing somebody. This would be a great, I don't know, gold label variant. But I'm pretty sure there's not going to be a normal version, so I'm not a fan of this head. Hair's okay, sort of military. Cheekbones very pronounced. Scar looks good. Darkness around the eyes, the darkness of the mouth wide open. It really just looks bad. I get what they're going for, but I think they failed. Going further down, he's got the scales on his orange shirt. Texturing's pretty good. Double jointed elbows. Double jointed knees, typical Aquaman with the sort of fins coming off his calves. Aquaman logo on his belt. He's got this sort of sash here. He's able to holster his trident on his back. That's a pretty nice feature. The figure's nice, except for that face expression. Come on. This will be for a very specific moment when he's killing somebody. Literally has his trident stabbed into them. It's not going to be good for really any other poses. That is disappointing to say the least. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. I mean, the head sculpt is not bad. I'm just really not a fan of the expression and how it came out. Now let's check out his accessories. And let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane stand we've seen a million times. Black perfect circle. It says DC on the bottom. It's got 1 peg for the peg holes on his feet. Very thin, very basic. Now let's look at his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Aquaman from Flashpoint on the front. I definitely see the inspiration the figure took. Military haircut, sort of red scaled armor, his belt, little sash, his trident. Aquaman from Flashpoint. On the back side, there's a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Here is Cyborg's torso from the Flashpoint comic. Target does this about every year. They get an exclusive Build-A-Figure wave, and they release it slowly over the course of almost an entire year. The first one they did was the Batman Beyond Collective Build, the Future's End Batman Joker Robot. The second one was the Crime Syndicate Collective Build Starro the Conqueror. And we're finally getting on the Flashpoint wave, Collective Build Cyborg. And it's going to be a nice comic Cyborg. I'm really looking forward to him. Should be a pretty big figure. As you can see, detail's pretty nice, very armored. He's got the signature Cyborg belt, African American skin. Detailing very nice. It's going to be awesome when he's complete. This is going to be my main Cyborg for the comic Justice League McFarlane has given us. I do find these Target exclusive Build-A-Figure waves a little frustrating. I mean, who wants to wait 8 months or so to actually finish your Build-A-Figure? I sure don't. But still, I get it. Target's asking for an exclusive, doing it a certain way to get people to come back and back and back. All it gets me to do is just pre-order them at their website and eventually find them in stores and cancel. Although this time, it actually shipped before I found it in stores. Well, not exactly. I actually found it in stores the exact same day that it arrived at my house. Then we have Aquaman's Trident. It's made in pure gold. You can see the top. It's got a fork, all the different points. It goes further down. It's got area that's textured pretty nicely you can hold on to until it comes to a pointed base. Here are all the McFarlane Aquaman Tridents they've made so far. On the top, we have the Justice League Endless Winter Aquaman. In the middle, Flashpoint Aquaman. And at the bottom, Zack Snyder's Justice League Aquaman. Give McFarlane props, not reusing the same trident. They're all three different. And here it is, next to the trident that came with the Dark Knight's Metal Drowned on the top and Ocean Master on the bottom. Here's Aquaman holding his trident. He can hold it with either one hand or with two. And here's Aquaman holstering that trident. So let's talk about this head sculpt for a minute. Now, I get what they were trying to achieve, but I personally think it just looks really weird and they failed. In person, it looks more like a zombie. He's about to bite somebody. Now, I saw some guys on Instagram doing some head swaps with him. They used the NECA Flash Gordon, and I think I'm going to try the same thing. So, let's not kid ourselves. Right now, it looks like he's about to suck a fat dick. Like I said, I've seen some people online doing head swaps with the NECA Flash Gordon figure. I've got all 4 variations of NECA's Flash Gordon. So I want to just see how a head swap would look on this guy. Because the body of this Aquaman is just fine. It's just the head that looks, frankly, kind of awful. This movie Flash Gordon right here appears to have the best head sculpt. Let's try that one. Here are these 2 figures as is. Now let's heat up some water, swap these heads. And my word, I'm going to have to tell you, this thing looks amazing. It's not exactly Flashpoint Aquaman, as that one has a scar under his eye. But man, this looks like a great modern Aquaman figure. Fantastic match here. Another head swap I wanted to try is the DC Direct Flashpoint Aquaman. This head is much better than the McFarlane version. And that did not exactly work. It really doesn't look that bad. The head is bigger than the McFarlane head, but his neck on the McFarlane body is too thick to sort of go up inside the head, so the head's a little too high. Now I wanted to look at the reuse for this Flashpoint Aquaman and the Justice League Endless Winter Aquaman, and it looks like there's a lot of shared parts. So, let's go and start off. Obviously, they have different heads, but then if you look at the torso area, it is identical. The arms also appear to be identical. Diaper piece identical. The legs appear to be identical as well, so they are literally the same figure, but different heads. And honestly, it works. Could use a little more red here, but it works pretty good for me. And that means he's basically the exact same figure as Ocean Master as well. Clever reuse. It works. Now they've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories. Now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's staying at about 7.1 inches tall, which can translate to about 18 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here. Of course, he can rotate from side to side. Look up, not too much, down about that far. Can't tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, increasing the range of motion and covering that large gap. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. His wrists can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. In his torso, he's got a ball joint. Rotate around, although it seems quite stuck for me. Probably have to use well, it's not fully stuck, just very tight. Might have to loosen up with some hot water. Another ball joint in his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Giving him pretty good range of motion, but this thing is so tight I can barely move it. Legs, complete as splits. Not a ball joint, but a similar type idea. Rotation is non-existent. Legs go forward about that far. Back, not much. Double jointed knees below that. They go all the way back. Then his ankle here, and it's done in the new style. Much more seamless, not the old ugly ball joints. Forward and back. Rotation. Tilt rock. And to articulation. Here's Aquaman holding his trident. The background, kind of pretending it's like an ocean type setting. And here's Aquaman stabbing his ex-wife Wonder Woman. This is during the Amazon Atlantean War. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures. Starting off with some other Flashpoint figures. Here he is, next to the DC Direct Flashpoint Aquaman. And it's hard to say which figure I prefer more. I definitely prefer the head sculpt of the DC Direct one. I prefer the red coloring of the DC Direct one. I prefer the articulation of the McFarlane one. So, you got that trade-off there. Hate to say it, I'm probably going to give it to DC Direct as far as Flashpoint Aquaman figures go. It just looks a lot better. And here's this Aquaman, next to the full set of DC Direct Flashpoint figures that I have. I got these in a 4-pack. I believe they also made Cyborg in the single line. Here's Aquaman, next to McFarlane's DC Multiverse, Flashpoint Batman, both masked and unmasked. These are the only Flashpoint figures so far, but once this wave's over, we'll have a total of 7 Flashpoint figures. Although, both Flash and Reverse Flash played a huge role in Flashpoint. These are Rebirth designs. Rebirth was quite a bit after Flashpoint, so I wouldn't be surprised if we possibly get Flashpoint versions of these guys in this wave. Now let's check them out. Next to some other Aquaman figures. Here he is, next to the Justice League Endless Winter Aquaman. It's essentially a modern Rebirth Aquaman from the comics. And here he is, next to McFarlane's Jason Momoa Aquaman from Zack Snyder's Justice League, part of the DC Cinematic Universe. So McFarlane has now made 3 Aquaman figures. We know there's a Page Puncher one upcoming, and they're definitely going to make something for Aquaman 2, the movie. And here he is, next to a Noble Toys bendy figure Flash. Then, next to all of my DC Direct and DC Collectibles Aquaman figures. Yeah, I'll bet these guys are buddies. And now, with all of my Mattel Aquaman figures, here are all of my 6 and 7 inch Aquaman figures. There are plenty I'm missing, but my collection is predominantly Batman related. Now let's check them out. Next to some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here are all 3 of the Aquaman figures McFarlane's made so far. And now let's check them out with some other sort of Aquaman related or Ocean McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to Drowned. She's from the Dark Knight's metal, and she's essentially a cross between Batman and Aquaman, and gender swapped. And here he is, next to Ocean Master, one of Aquaman's main villains. Here's Aquaman with the previous Target exclusive Build-A-Figure wave. This was the Crime Syndicate wave. Collective build Starro the Conqueror. We have Ultraman, Owlman, Starro, Superwoman, and a Power Ring. And here he is, next to the first Target exclusive collective Build-A-Figure over a long period of time wave. This is Batman Beyond Future's End. We have Batwoman, Batman, the Batman Joker robot, Shriek, and Blight. Now let's check him out. Next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to another Target exclusive gold label figure. This is Deadman. I got these guys on the same day from Target.com. Here's Aquaman, next to the two most recent Mega figures, Frankenstein and Mongol. And here he is, next to the Amazon exclusive Tim Drake Robin, and the Shazam 2 movie Shazam. People are starting to find that guy at Target now. Then, next to the Amazon exclusive Batman Family 5-pack, and now, next to the most recent McFarlane DC Multiverse Gaming Wave, this is the Arkham City Joker and the Arkham Knight Scarecrow and Red Hood. Here's Aquaman, next to the most recent Build-A-Fear Wave. This is the Speed Metal Wave, collective build The Darkest Knight. And here he is, next to the Batman Arkham City Wave, collective build an undersized Solomon Grundy. Then, next to the third wave of Page Punchers, this is a Flash-themed wave. We have Atom, Flash, Gorilla Grodd, Heatwave, and both versions of Captain Cold. And now, next to the second wave of Page Punchers, this is Injustice-themed, Batman and Green Arrow. Here's Aquaman, next to the first wave of Page Punchers. This is a Black Adam wave, Batman, Constantine, Superman, and Black Adam. And here he is, next to McFarlane's Mortal Kombat 11 DC offerings, the Batman Who Laughs and Joker. Then, next to some more recent Target Gold Label exclusives, we have Ocean Master and the 30th anniversary of Batman from Batman the Animated Series. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. And now, with even more Target exclusive figures, Defiance Deathstroke, Changing the Guard, Kyle Rayner Green Lantern, the Black Adam movie, Black Adam with Throne, and the Justice League Endless Winter Wonder Woman variant. Here's Aquaman, next to McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Hush Superman and Rebirth Kid Flash. And finally, next to some gold label Walmart exclusives, Azrael and Batman Armor, Parallax Hal Jordan, Rebirth Shazam, and Speed Metal Dark Flash. I've been checking daily, trying to find the new Walmart exclusive gold label figures, Vampire, Batman, and Eradicator. If anyone out there can get them for me, drop me a line, help a dude out. Now let's check him out. Next to some action figures from different various companies to see how he fits in both scale and style wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect and work with smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next to some more McFarlane Toys. These are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. Here's Aquaman, next to a blue Big Lighter. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, standing with some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, next to some Mafex figures. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, here he is, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, it's a nice figure. I'm happy to be getting figures for the Flashpoint story, but they definitely botched this guy's head. Face sculpt. It just looks like shit. I get what they're going for. He does look like he's angry and evil, but it looks like he's about to take a bite out of your neck and turn you into the Walking Dead. Sculpt, excellent. I know it's almost all reuse. The only new part of this figure is the shittiest part, the head. Articulation, everything you'd expect from a modern McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. Accessories, the Trident, nothing really too special. It's cool. I like that it's a brand new sculpt, and it can be holstered. If I were to rate this guy, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Teetering between 5.5 and 6, as is. I'm telling you, you put that NECA Flash Gordon movie head on him, and this guy's easy 7.5. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter, Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.